unprecedented meteor shower falling off.
It's not an alien invasion movie without hearing a cacophony of reporters at the beginning of it.
Right now, one thing is clear. The world is at war.
Oh good, then we can dust off our grainy battle stock footage.
All breaches were along the coastline.
The worst part about this alien attack is all those Nebraskans sitting there looking all smug and This is the first of many shots of military personnel who have access to classified information watching the f***ing news to see what's happening.
Massive casualties in New York. Defensive lines are being set up in Boston.
So, are there no massive casualties in Boston then? It's a coastal city too. If they're already that good at repelling the alien threat, I'd rather be watching a movie called Battle Boston, although I'm sure they'd find some way to set the finale in Fenway. Wait, is the title of this movie Battle Los Angeles with a colon? Or the way it's shown here, which makes me think the movie is asking me to battle Los Angeles. Reading. California. The use of California love in a shitty action movie would cause Tupac to roll over in his grave, if he were actually dead.
You know what they say? You're only as old as you feel, Staff Sergeant.
That's what I'm worried about. I can't feel a damn thing.
What the f does that mean? This isn't an idiom or a joke or a turn of phrase. It's Nance revealing an Ajax-like immunity to pain.
What happened to that picture of us in Iraq with that camel? I mean, your girlfriend.
Ha ha ha. We are bonding, you and I. We make insult of each other, yes? Also, that's pretty racist.
I did my 20. I know when to get out.
Me. Another story about an almost retired vet that's pulled into action on his last days of work? This movie should just be called No Sin City for Falling Down into Hell or High Water. Also, 7.
Had to make some tough calls there, Mike. Especially that last one. We all wish your men made it home.
There was a scenario by which we didn't wish your men made it home, but that's a way different movie with darker, more interesting exposition. They got the rest of him in a package deal, but the producers really only hired Aaron Eckhart's chin for this movie.
Heavy, what are you doing? Busting your balls.
Tomorrow we shop for cakes.
I don't care how close these two dudes are. What is Stavro doing shopping with Harris and his fiancée? This isn't like tagging along on a trip to Target. They're shopping for wedding flowers, man. This shot is so Peter Berg. I thought for sure Peter Berg did this movie, but he didn't. So what an odd choice of director to emulate. I've always wanted to make movies like Peter Berg.
See, here's girl is making a dude organize his entire wedding 2 weeks before we deploy.
The movie thinks that if it gives these short character introductions that we're going to give two shits about them once Battle Los Angeles starts happening. I'm sure this is a touching moment, but I'm too distracted by the way they're shooting this like it's a voyeur video to really care.
Now this guy over here, Mr. Linehan. Hey. His mom signed so he could join up at 17.
Thankfully, Lance Corporal Exposition is at this party to guide us through the rest of the squadron. Hey, did you like Independence Day but wanted less interesting characters and a super generic alien threat? Then have I got the movie for you.
I'm bringing you back to the company, Mike. They need you.
They need one guy who just basically retired. I know it's patriotic to think one man can turn the tide in a war like this, but come on. Of course, we know he's going to make a difference because he's Aaron Eckhart, but the characters in this movie don't know that.
Staff Sergeant Beck is being replaced by Staff Sergeant Nance.
Later we find out that Beck is on leave, so I guess they didn't need Beck on this mission, even though it's all hands on deck. He's a goddamn no good ass, as my grandpa used to say.
Moving you up to squad leader.
Seriously, I didn't give a shit about these guys before, but movie wants me to keep up with these characters' promotions now?
We're being called in to help with an evacuation, Lieutenant. Because these meteors?
I assume so.
I realize that not every officer is briefed on the details of the mission, but shouldn't Martinez have some idea about why he was called in?
Now, these central objects are all the same geometric shape. They appear mechanical in nature.
They're almost like, I don't know, battleships of some sort, directed a year later by holy Peter Berg.
Combat situation.
It's what I've been training for.
I certainly hope so. If they made you lieutenant, I hope it's not because you've been training for fry cook at McDonald's. There are people and reporters hanging out on a beach where a meteor is about to hit the ocean. Look, I know people are stupid, but what? This malfunctioning camera is able to self-edit and get extreme close-ups of the victims in this attack. I know it's good television, but these are f***ing Marines. You'd think they'd be standing there with their dicks in their hands watching TV? They were just told to move out. Even though all these soldiers are getting to see an unfiltered look at the invasion, the movie decides to go with this wildly cut found footage route, cutting in soldiers' reactions, and really, when it comes down to it, making the movie a mess and pissing me off.
We also have PFC Lenahan, who's our second best marksman, just behind Lance Corporal Guerrero.
This information is virtually worthless. Is there a scenario by which you wouldn't have your first and second best marksman on this mission? And if they weren't coming, doesn't somebody else become the first and second best marksman in their place? And why wouldn't you lead your discussion with the best marksman? I feel like this was just a worthless way of saying we've got some guys who are great at shooting on this team.
As you may have heard already, Staff Sergeant Nance will be taking over for Staff Sergeant Beck.
Because Staff Sergeant Beck is a piece of dickless whore bitch, as my kid brother used to say in kindergarten.
You got a silver star, my brother came home in a box.
I feel like this is a very good reason why Aaron Eckhart shouldn't be on this particular team.
Aliens?
Roll crit. Sorry, it's been a long week. I can understand why a Marine would be reading the Bible before going into battle, but this Bible is hilariously over-diagrammed. He has the word for in parenthesis, has marked out most of the pronouns for some reason, and is underlining random phrases. My dearest wife, if I die, tell Staff Sergeant Beck he's a hedonistic douchebag piece of monkey spunk. Also, I love you and take care of the kid. Don't marry anyone else. Damn, I guess they got here too late for Battle Orange County. The director enjoyed the Bourne trilogy and End of Watch, but felt like the camera work was a little too steady.
Most of Santa Monica's been cleared of civilians.
Fucking what? Santa Monica has like 90,000 residents, not including tourists and people who wanted to look at the meteor shower. They cleared that shit out in a couple hours.
You just gather survivors and you radio in. We'll have helicopters in the area to evacuate you out.
Why not send the fucking helicopters right now? You mean you have to send a group of elite fighters to Saving Private Ryan through downtown Los Angeles instead of some quick air support? It must be a metaphorical bomb drop for it to be in quotes like this. Like, really, it's an insult comic coming to the scene to spit racial slurs at the aliens.
Civilians are being stranded behind enemy lines.
All the cameras in the area are shaky and on auto zoom. Please take precautions. This gritty, neo-realistic alien invasion movie is brought to you by Domino's. Domino's, for when you gotta have it delivered quick, because you're about to die.
Nice and easy.
These guys just walked out of a full-on fucking war zone. It couldn't be more than a quarter mile away, but just got real quiet because we need some manufactured tension.
And answers. Right now, one thing is clear. The world is at war.
The radio's still playing in this car, even though it's not running and the door is open. And if the battery's still working, why isn't this dead asshole's head making the horn blare?
It's just a dog. Dog. What's his name, huh? Glenn.
Marines take a break from their incredibly dangerous and time-sensitive mission to learn this dog's name. I'm sure it's a good dog, but if I were in this group, that dog can go to hell.
What do you want to call him?
Man, this movie's got a long time without a jump scare cliche, so maybe I should take off a Motherfucker! Everything these shots and this editing represent. These aliens were trained at the finest stormtrooper school of aiming. Guns, yelling, aliens, excitement. Man, it's a great thing that every interior room in this movie has an expositional TV that's not only working, but has an excellent cable connection. I love how every single shot of news in this movie also has to show you how badly the Dow Jones is doing during the middle of this alien invasion.
Where's Lenehan?
Anybody got eyes on Lenehan?
Oh no, one of the 30 guys from the squadron that we were introduced to a few minutes ago. Not him. Washing machine buzzes for no goddamn reason other than to be a jump scare, unless someone decided they needed to put a wash in during the alien invasion. Look, I understand Lenehan is freaked out and wounded, but this is a trained soldier that should never leave cover for a wide open space like this. I guess the movie was finally ready to show us some fucking aliens. A lone alien is alone. Does that mean that he's an alien? Or alonian? Help me out here, guys. Cannonball! Also, what the f***? This alien had the element of surprise and point-blank range. At this point, I wonder if the aliens are actively trying to miss.
Streets clear.
So, everyone's generally okay then. They survived a precision attack that included an ambush from high ground, and are all back together with enough health and ammo to continue the mission? I mean, it's sinful as shit, but it's also kind of awesome. USA! USA!
Tech Sergeant Elena Santos, Air Force.
After Linda Hamilton hit her 50s, all badass female roles in Hollywood were automatically assigned to Michelle Rodriguez.
10. Burn about 25 minutes, sir.
First off, can you be a little more specific? Wouldn't you want to know the exact time left before the rescue helicopter arrives? Also, 10 minutes ago, random Marine number 4 yelled,
25 minutes! 25 minutes!
So I'd synchronize those swatches if I were you.
Imlay! Pop smoke!
Wait, the optimal signaling of the chopper is to throw more smoke out there? What about like a flare or something? Yeah, the smoke's blue, but it's already smoky as shit around here.
US range! US range!
The Marines consider the most comfortable introduction to a civilian is to scream loudly while pointing a rifle at them. It's in the manual and everything. Movie introduces Michelle Rodriguez, Michael Pena, and Bridget Moynihan at the 40-minute mark. These secondary characters are played by actors so famous, there's a really good chance that Tom Brady f***ed one of these people in his lifetime.
Officials are now saying any civilian within 10 miles of the coast should try to make their way to a military forward operating base.
Who cares? The Dow Jones is under 5,000 now. We're doomed!
That one out front looks like a leader, so now they got leadership.
Yep, we can definitely assume a clear chain of alien command by the location of this one alien butthole.
When you invade a place for its resources, you wipe out the indigenous population. Those are the rules of any colonization.
Luckily, CNN was able to get Dr. McAlien colonization on air in perfect time for some global exposition.
We have a situation. Y'all need to follow me.
Is there ever a time when this type of dialogue is more useful than just telling people what the f is going on? Damn it, this movie had conceptual promise, but now it's just sperming out cliche after cliche.
We need to know exactly where to hit this thing.
Maybe I can help. I'm a veterinarian.
There is no frontal lobe, no temporal lobe, no parietal lobe.
You can already tell the alien doesn't have those things? You just opened this up 5 seconds ago, right?
This is our last shot.
Hopefully all the aliens you encounter will be half dead, and you can tear them open at will to get to their hearts.
That's gotta be it. It's dying.
And I know this because it's not making that Star Wars pod racer sound effect anymore.
That's how we kill this thing. To the right of where the heart would be.
Jesus, how did you figure that out so quickly? How are you supposed to aim right at the heart when they all have that protection? That one dude shot the alien by the pool over 100 times, and he apparently missed that spot because the f***er came back out of the water like Jason in the first Friday the 13th movie.
I got 3 more!
You can also explode the aliens to death, so no need to worry about their weak spot. don't know how this bus is supposed to drive through roads and avoid aliens when we've seen all the roads are like parking lots at this point.
Turn off that radio. They're tracking our signals. Turn it off.
Okay, fine. The aliens are tracking their signals, but why haven't they destroyed satellites carrying CNN and, of course, HBO? Wouldn't this invasion go down better without an informed public? Or do the aliens think CNN is fake news? The alien ship decides not to destroy this bus because, hey, they might need that later for parties and Look, it's ridiculous that he made that perfect of a grenade throw, but I'm really more annoyed by how close these ships already get to the gas pump with open flames on their thrusters, but they don't ignite. Nance survives this.
Only choice to take the freeway.
And be sure to keep it above 50 miles an hour, for God's sake.
Alright, well, it's your call.
In case you didn't know from the 17 other instances in this movie, Lieutenant Martinez is the one in charge, despite Staff Sergeant Nance having more experience. There's never been one conflict surrounding this, other than the brief exchange at the beginning. Also, why would the freeway not also be completely blocked? This is mother Los Angeles. The freeway's packed at 3 a.m. on a Tuesday, but open during an alien invasion? Well, ain't this squadron a temporal oddity? 25 minutes away from everything. Movie saves money by telling the assistant director to go to any LA freeway you can think of right now to get footage of burning cars. It was kind of the doomed LA drivers to form a decent path for this bus before they died. Hang on, why are they headed west? They were just in Santa Monica on 10th Street, so either they're headed straight into the ocean, which is the exact opposite of safety, or they're going to the Santa Monica airport, which is only west in opposite world.
What the hell are you doing?
You guys need another gun.
Way to go, Michelle Rodriguez. I mean, why would there ever be a reason for somebody not to be helping right now, unless you're that guy from Hacksaw Ridge? Are you seeing bullets hitting the right side of where the heart should be? Because I don't, but yay, we're winning. No doubt that this is some powerful weaponry here, but it looks cumbersome as You have to push this thing down a street? Why isn't this a vehicle? This thing is more awkward than the walkers in Empire Strikes Back.
How many down? 2 down, Staff Sergeant! 1 to go!
Honestly, this action scene has been cut to death so much he could have said any number and I'd have no choice but to believe him. With all this going on, I am reminded that they needed to get out of the area in 25 minutes. And while only 6 minutes have passed since then, this battle has really gone on for way longer, and the bomb should already be dropping, unless you're saying what we're watching is real time, which means you turn the tide against an alien force in 6 minutes, and that's sinful as Seriously, how is this any different from shooting the alien by the pool earlier? You're telling me this guy missed, but John Q. Civilian was able to knock one out with a couple of bullets? And I know they know where to shoot now, but it's basically no different from what happened to the pool alien that kept surviving all the bullets.
You gotta get him out of here! No! Not again!
Movie is trying hard to make me care about Nance's backstory, instead of focusing on aliens blowing up.
This is Lieutenant William Martinez! Echo Company, 2nd Battalion, 5th Marines! Hoorah!
Okay, this movie doesn't look like a typical alien invasion or war movie, so I had higher hopes than seeing a bland, generic cliché fest. But it's totally generic, right down to the officer sacrifices himself to kill the baddies and save the unit cliché. And since it fooled my ass into thinking it might be different, I'm gonna add 10 more sins for the subterfuge. The fact that Bridget Moynihan's character is named Michelle, and the idea that Michelle Monaghan could have taken her place halfway through the movie without me noticing, is much more entertaining than watching this movie.
We're still half a click inside the bombing zone.
Can you believe that only took 10 minutes? Felt like more, didn't it? Hoorah!
Did he just leave the lieutenant back there to die? Sure looked that way.
Even though everyone's gonna die in, probably 25 minutes or so, Marines again waste time speculating on Nance's backstory. Looting.
We're estimating that 20 cities in 17 countries are now under full attack.
But our cable operations in these cities remain remarkably intact. I know, we can't believe it either.
Yeah, and if we wipe it out, we take out their air power.
Aliens have one main ship that controls everything cliché. Aliens run the same playbook as vampires. Kill the head vampire, they all die. Nobody in this advanced alien race ever heard of not putting your larvae all in one basket.
Hey, they should have dropped.
Yeah, if the bombs didn't drop at the immediate moment to which you had your watch's time, then they aren't going to drop the bombs. I understand the military at least tries to be precise, but come on. It could be a minute or two late, right?
Right. One alternate extraction site is still operational.
According to this map, that may not be accurate anymore due to the passage of time.
Mr. Rincon is dead.
Oh no, that's sad. That guy was so Michael Pena. It hurts so much to see people who exhibit the properties of Michael Pena die.
We gotta be brave for the others, because Marines don't quit.
Luckily for the morale of the squadron, this emotional Michael Bay-esque monologue takes place at a time when no Marines are otherwise marining.
You getting us out too, Staff Sergeant? Or are we expendable?
We interrupt this alien invasion military movie to bring you a very special episode of MASH.
They're dead. I'm here. Like the punchline to some bad joke.
Is that the punchline to any joke?
We have 11 passengers requesting evacuation at alternate extraction point Charlie.
The aliens were monitoring the radio signals early in the movie, but I guess they got bored and stopped listening to these fools discuss the alternative extraction point over the open airwaves.
Himmler, you ever see what a Bushmaster chain gun can do?
Yes, Staff Sergeant.
A fully loaded, weaponized vehicle was left behind on this FOB alien raid, even though they killed every motherfucker on the base. Even aliens haven't evolved enough to realize that they need to shoot the goddamn tires! Strange that none of the aliens have one of those Imperial Walker things they have back at the bridge. That seemed to be fairly useful technology that they forgot when they set up this base.
I got that nasty stuff all over my mouth, man. Not funny.
You let him do you on the first date?
Michael Pena is dead.
Let's get us home.
And by home, I mean some military base where we'll stay temporarily until the aliens decide to attack inland.
We're abandoning Los Angeles!
The taxes are just too fucking high, and the traffic is a nightmare!
This is a letter for Martinez's wife. Will you get it to her?
I thought after Martinez died, I might have a chance with her. Now I just want her to know how I feel. Oh wait, that's Martinez's letter, isn't it? There wasn't one bit of suspense to this scene. Now the action's going into hyperdrive, and it's dark. The editor has film cuts all over his hands from all the cutting he's doing, even though the footage is probably digital. The camera operator drank 10 shots of Red Bull Cappuccino Latte, and the director stayed home with an illness during the shooting of this scene. Also, stealth isn't really part of these alien squad's game. They've just been blasting fools left and right, but here they're able to sneak up right on a gang of highly trained military personnel without a peep. The alien command center conveniently pokes its head outside over the street, so the good guys will be able to kill it easier. I mean, seriously, they went to the trouble of putting this thing underground, but left a wide open hole and couldn't even fit the entire thing down there.
We're right over their command asset.
Which is completely unguarded above ground. Also, I really don't know if they were in the sewers long enough for night to become day. You don't know either, and I bet you $10 movie doesn't know.
Right of the heart, right?
Right of the heart.
I'm pretty sure you already knew that, considering you were there when Nance made that discovery. I feel like this is a reminder to the audience. Or it might have been a note left in the margins by the screenwriter to remind the director about some shit they'd totally been glossing over until now. Also, this how to kill an alien detail that seemed super important to the plot earlier hasn't been used once until this moment. All the aliens fire their usual guns when we've seen them use much better tech throughout the movie, but they probably know it's the end, so they gave up on doing anything smart or skillful. You know what? All the action in this movie is befitting of the director who gave us the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Beginning, Wrath of the Titans, and the first remake of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
That's Harsha, you did it!
These assholes prematurely celebrate so much they should work for NASA. Advanced alien weapons somehow keep missing the easy target with a f***ing laser coming out of it. Even though the missile was in the area and the soldiers on the ground noticed it coming in, and it took forever to get that laser pointed at the alien ship, this missile still hits its target.
That's Harsha, you did it!
Killed my brother, I mean.
Nothing controlling the drones anymore.
Yeah, but there was a ton of those big soldiers on the ground, and I bet plenty of them are still around this area alone. Also, they only took out the one command center in Los Angeles, so I assume they'll have to Independence Day the method of victory to the other countries via Morse code. Me. Nance is already using his pistol here, which should be hilariously incompetent in this fight, by the way, but is shown abandoning his rifle in the next shot, then going to the pistol. Realizing Aaron Eckhart didn't look badly enough in the last close-up, the makeup department went with the dirt and blood bukkake look for the flight back to base.
Word of how you brought their ship down? It's going out to every army in every city.
So they too will have to find the command center and hope that a big piece of it is hanging out in broad daylight, and that bombing it will cause the command center to start flying out in the open, and then the soldiers on the ground will also have to get very lucky to point the laser just so... I mean, it's a piece of cake, really.
Got a devil's haircut in my mind.
Give me everything tonight.
Yo, Staff Sergeant! Promise me you won't let me be taken alive by some godless predator from another world, Staff Sergeant?
No promises in combat.
You either die a hero, or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
Had to make some tough calls there, Mike.
Target should be clear if you're going low enough. You'll have to decide. You'll have to decide. You'll have to decide.
Kearns, you see a cross street?
I ain't even here, Sergeant. I'm in Cheyenne, Wyoming. Stay on or get off.
Get off.
I saw this in a movie about a bus that had to speed around the city, keeping its speed over 50. I think it was called The Bus That Couldn't Slow Down.
Oh, Captain, my captain. Oh, Captain, my captain.
Thank you, boys. Thank you.
I'm telling you, it don't get no better than this. We've been coming to the same party for 12 years now, and in no way is that depressing.
Okay, I was at a wine tasting with my cousin Ernesto, which was mainly reds, and you know I don't like reds, man. You know, but there was a rosé that saved the day. It was delightful.
You getting us out too, Staff Sergeant? Or are we expendable?
What, we some kind of suicide squad?